Welcome in, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us for the Pre AEP Game Plan. I have never seen so many names that are on today's call, and I'm really kind of encouraged that so many of you are tuning in and getting ready in preparation for AEP. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Matt Alina, and I manage the Life Markets team here at URL. Now, before you ask, what does a life insurance guy know about AEP? Let me answer that. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. Except that I know that there is a major shift occurring in the Medicare landscape. And we're trying to help all of our agent partners that are working with URL. Keep in mind that URL handles life insurance, it handles under 65 health. It handles annuities, long-term care, single premium life, and there's so many opportunities that many of you aren't tapping into that we're here to show you and provide you with a game plan to help you weather the storm, weather the uncertainty, to help you with diversification, help you make some real serious money in this industry, as well as building some solid, long-standing relationships with clients and professionals in the industry. So are you ready? No, and I mean this, are you ready? For those of you who are getting involved in Medicare, if this is your first time, let me provide you with a little checklist. For those of you who have been doing Medicare for a while, you kind of know the lay of the land a little bit. So AEP, October 15th to December 7th. So here's how I'm going to help maximize your return on your investment, your return on the time that you're putting into it. You have to complete that AHIP. You have to complete those carrier certifications, get to know those carrier plans. You have to review them. You have to make sure all of your contracts are in good order and stuff like that. Now, keep in mind the URL, our team here, we're in a position to help you with that, make sure that all of your ducks are in a row. And there's a lot of other miscellaneous tasks. So for some of you, you're kind of getting into that panic mode. It's okay. You still have some time, not a lot of time, but you do have some time. And the staff here at URL, the Medicare team, along with the rest of the contracting team, we're all here. We're ready to help you and support you so that you're ready to go guns a-blazing on October 15th. So here's what we're going to be covering today. This is the game plan. We're going to uncover additional opportunities to help you serve your clients. We're going to talk and show you about the importance of diversification. Diversification, let's just say this. If you're trying to keep all of your ducks in Medicare, you are going to be in for a rude awakening one of these days, I'm afraid. We're already seeing with prescription drug plans not paying compensation and when is there going to be a time where CMS may say you're making too much money or they're cutting comps? I know that they've added commissions and stuff like that, and they do. Clients rely on you heavily to make the right decisions. But we're going to show you how to diversify and how to become an expert. We're also going to show you how to do any kind of cross-selling compliantly, where you're not stepping on the toes of the CMS watchdogs. And we're also going to be providing you in today's call, in today's training, free tools and resources for you to download. So before we part ways, I'm going to make sure that you get the materials that you need to help you make that game plan. These are things that you can implement before October 15th and have your mindset that, yes, I'm going to be helping, I'm going to be serving people with their Medicare plan, but I'm also going to be uncovering some other opportunities, some other pain points that they may not know about just yet. So let's understand AEP. Again, for those of you who are brand new, and again, this is a life insurance guy. I know it's what the annual enrollment period, election period, whatever you want to call it. It's when clients review, change, and update Medicare plans. This is your opportunity during those several weeks to be able to build some relationships where it's an opportunity to grow relationships that are going to also help grow your business, grow your referral streams. And it's also a great way to build trust and uncover additional needs. Those Medicare clients that you're helping, they have younger families, they have children and grandchildren. Do you not think that they may need help with whether it's under 65 health plans, or maybe they need help with their life insurance planning? They can go to you and they can say, I've got a guy, I've got a gal that helped me with my Medicare, but they also can help you with your other planning, your other needs. So uncover it and just kind of understand that this is your foot in the door. If I talk to new people just getting their license, getting into this industry, and they ask, where should I start? I typically tell them, look at Medicare, because that's going to springboard you into so many different opportunities. Now, today we're going to be talking about one of the easiest cross-selling opportunities, which is final expense. Okay, yes, this is where the life insurance guy is going to start promoting final expense. Understand that final expense programs are going after the same client that you're working with. Understand that there are final expense agents out there that are doing final expense and they're doing Medicare, and they're trying to get in front of your clients. They're spending thousands and thousands of dollars every week, every month to get clients. And the question that I like to pose is, you have a final expense agent that is going to talk to them about talk to a client, sometimes your clients, about final expense, and they also do Medicare. What is stopping that final expense agent from talking to your Medicare client and now taking both lines of business? You've lost that client. So here's the pre AEP game plan. Why final expense? For many of your clients, it is a concern, a huge concern, about how they're going to pay for funeral, burial, cremation costs. Some people may joke, I'm one of them, that'll say, I can't afford to die. Fact of the matter is, unfortunately, death does not wait until you have money saved to pay for that funeral. So a final expense plan can address those costs. A final expense plan provides peace of mind for clients and their families. Sometimes, and a lot of us, for a lot of you that are Medicare advisors, it's often overlooked, but it is a highly valuable tool. What do I mean by that? Clients, for just a couple of dollars every month, for about maybe $1 a day, $2 a day, they can get a decent final expense plan with no surprises, and it's going to be profitable for the client, because they're going to be able to provide a tax-free benefit to their beneficiaries to pay for those funeral expenses, to pay for those cremation costs, and any other unforeseen expenses like that. And it's profitable for you as the advisor, meaning you made the money on the Medicare sale, whether it's a renewal or a brand new enrollment, and you can make on average an additional $800 per client selling final expense. So why final expense? I'm going to pose it like this. If you're not offering it, somebody else will. So let's talk about the pre AEP game plan. What is this game plan? So people have to purchase. They have to make their selections between October 15th and December 7th, right? The sale that you're doing is selling you and what you bring to the table. Keep in mind, a lot of Medicare clients, they can do business with anybody. We all sell the same products. The products are all about the same. Understand that people are purchasing Medicare. They're purchasing it from you. That's where you're convincing them. Final expense and other lines of coverage, it does need to be sold. So Medicare plans are chosen by the clients. They're making their choices based on your recommendations, your advice, and your knowledge. Final expense does require some proactive selling, but not a lot. And we'll get into how to be proactive about selling final expense. And if you get creative enough, you'll also find that the the cross-selling, the way to sell final expense, is also how you can start conversations about annuity sales, which are also extremely profitable, and other lines of business. So what do you look for? Here's what you look for during a Medicare appointment. Now, understand when you're on a Medicare appointment, it CMS guidelines say you cannot talk to the client about other products or services while you're on that Medicare appointment. You have to wait 48 hours. That's compliance. What to look for and what you can jot down in your notes, things like uh, clients that don't have life insurance, clients that are concerned or they make mention about concerns about funeral costs or end of life expenses or unpaid medical expenses, medical bills that may carry over to their spouse that survives, or people that are on a fixed income where after having conversations and doing your fact finding that if they died tonight, their family is going to be setting up a GoFundMe account, or they're going to be taking up a collection in order to pay for those funeral expenses. These are all things that you need to take notice and just keep your eyes open for it. And the other one is a recent loss of a loved one, particularly a spouse. They know what it costs. They know what it takes to plan a funeral. They know what it entails. And many of your clients are afraid and they don't want to leave that financial burden to their children, grandchildren, and other loved ones to have to handle. Keep in mind, if they pass away and their children want to have that memorial service, that funeral, cremation, a burial, whatever it is, somebody's paying the bill if it's not the person that just recently deceased. Let the life insurance company pay for that. So, how do you start a final expense conversation? Let's talk about some strategies. Again, get creative because it doesn't have to just keep you in the lane of final expense and Medicare. There are other opportunities. There are people that you work with that have money that's earmarked. Maybe they have $100,000 or $200,000. It's just sitting there. They're not going to touch it. It's going to their children or their grandchildren. Why not put that into a single premium life plan? And then it turns into a tax-free benefit to their children or their grandchildren. And it'll be a higher benefit and it'll get them a better return than just by waiting for it to receive a little bit of interest. So ask about their plans for final expenses. We're going to be providing you with a list of questions, conversation starters, if you will, momentarily. You can share stories of how families are impacted by the lack of coverage. If you don't have stories, I have a bunch of them. Contact me. I'll be happy to share them with you. You don't have to give a first-hand story. It could be our uh, I one of our clients. You can use us as an hour, all of us as a collective. Share stories of how families are impacted by the lack of life insurance. Starting the conversation, highlight the affordability and the simplicity of it. You can actually show it by showing a side by side comparison about how the stuff that they see advertised on TV is a bunch of garbage, frankly speaking, where you can get them a plan that they can set it, forget it, and it's going to cover them. There's not going to be any surprises. It's simple. Underwriting is very relaxed. Keep in mind, final expense plans are going after the same age and demographic as a Medicare client most of the time. So those people are going to have some pre-existing medical conditions, right? So final expense plans are underwritten taking those things into consideration. When you're talking to somebody, be empathetic and be understanding. Sometimes you have to put on a little bit of a show, a little bit of an act, but let me provide you with a list of questions that you can ask them. These are conversation starters, if you will. When you're talking to somebody, do you have a plan in place to help your loved ones with your final expenses. Do you have a plan in place to help your loved ones with your final expenses? Listen to their answer. Or another conversation starter. Have you had a chance to think about how you want things handled when you pass away? Have you had a chance to think about how you want things handled when you pass away? Another way to ask that question is, if you died last night, who today is going to be making those funeral arrangements for you? And are they financially prepared? If you died last night, who today is going to be making those funeral arrangements for you? And are they financially prepared? Another way to say it is your family financially prepared to cover the cost if something unexpectedly happened? I don't like to say that death is unexpected because death is expected. It's just the time in which it's going to happen. Unfortunately, there's a 100% probability that your clients, you, and I, we're going to die. We just don't know when. Another way, and more of an empathetic way to have a conversation about final expense, would it bring peace of mind knowing that you can tell your family that your final expenses are taken care of? I personally like this one. How would it make you feel? Or would it bring you peace of mind knowing that you can tell your family that your final expenses are taken care of? A couple more. Have you ever known somebody who didn't have life insurance coverage for their final expenses? And what was it like? Perhaps they recently buried a spouse that didn't have coverage. They had to tap into their savings, right? Their retirement. They really weren't thinking about it. And keep in mind, and you might want to write this down if you're taking notes, the average cost of a cremation is between $7,000 and $8,000 today. That's including some other frills. Not a lot. And then for somebody that is looking to get a burial casket, the whole 9 yards there, you're looking at about 10, 12 to $15,000. So for some of your clients, for many of your clients, that's a lot of money. And another way to ask this question is, what would it mean to you and your family to have a simple, affordable plan in place? Keep in mind, you have already established a rapport with these clients, and now you are trying to convey to them that having a final expense plan is important to you as their advisor, or at least bring it up to them. A lot of people in the Medicare space, they have some trepidation about doing any cross-selling because they're afraid that they're going to alienate the customer, the client, that it's going to push them away. That is the furthest thing from the truth. We did a study here a couple of years ago tracking where leads, final expense leads were coming in and who they were and who see if they were Medicare clients. Folks, in some areas, 20% of the final expense leads that were coming in for other final expense producers were already on the books with another Medicare advisor. Just partnered with URL. Just partnered with URL. 20% have these conversations with people. They want to have that conversation with you. So I'm going to give you about 8 steps here that you can implement. 8 steps for strategy that kind of give you some plans, a game plan, if you will, for things that you can start putting on your radar now, that you can start implementing and start practicing before October, and even practice after AEP into the first of the year. Step number 1 is review your current book of business. Now, if you're brand new to the Medicare world, you don't have that book of business yet, but you will. Identify the clients that are 65 and over that don't have life insurance coverage. Number 2 of step 1, identify people who have expressed concerns about funeral costs or end of life expenses. Keep in mind, Medicare does not cover those expenses. Social Security does not cover those expenses. Bring that to light to them. The third part of step one is identify people who have lost a spouse or a loved one. Maybe it was a sibling that they had. They played a role in planning their funeral, and they saw the expenses, they saw what went into planning it, and they don't want to put that ownership, that responsibility on their children's shoulders or other loved ones. And also identify people who are on our fixed income. These are people that if they died today, their family is taking up a collection. Now, here's step number two. Organize your sales materials. Here's where I come in. Here's where URL comes in, because we can help you prepare brochures. We can get you connected with some of the top final expense companies in the industry. Same thing on the annuity side, single premium life, long-term care. You can have these conversations with confidence because we've got your back. We've got the sales materials. We've got the brochures. We have, at least on the final expense side, I can confidently say we have presentations already put together for you, visuals already for you. All you have to do is ask. I ask that you're contracted and you're partnered with URL. You're contracted with some final expense companies, but we have the scripts for you and we have the presentation for you. And all you need to do is be ready and be ready to quote and provide people rates. Step number three, practice your conversations. For me, if I'm in your shoes, I'm talking to my wife. She's going to be my client, my customer, and I'm going to role play. And I'm going to learn how to ask open-ended questions. So first, I'm going to role play. Maybe there's a colleague or some other mentor that you have in this industry. Pick their brain for a little bit. Practice with them. Make sure that you are practicing your cadence. Make sure that you're practicing how you ask questions. Make sure that you're not coming across a certain way so that you're empathetic, that you come across as being soft, but also sometimes having to be a little forceful when needed. Learn how to ask those open-ended questions so that you can uncover those needs. Those conversation starters that I provided earlier are a great start. And focus on telling stories and creating an emotional connection. You're going to learn a lot about your clients during Medicare. You're going to learn a lot about what they did for a living or what they're still doing to put food on the table. You're going to learn about their children, especially their grandchildren. You're going to learn about their hobbies, and you find commonality. Find something you have in common. Start sharing stories. Everybody has something in common with someone else. Now, here's step number four. Update client lists. All throughout AEP, you should have a CRM. If you don't have a CRM, talk to one of us here at URL, especially the Medicare team. We have many CRM partners. We know a lot of them. Our IT team we're constantly inundated with CRM companies that want to offer their services to you. We vetted some of them. Talk to us. Now, when you're updating your client list, tag clients who are good candidates for final expense. You may want to tag clients who are going to be good candidates for long-term care, single premium life, annuities. Segment your client lists by age, income, coverage gaps. You're going to want to set up reminders for follow-up during and after AEP, and utilize our client questionnaire. That's one of the free things we're going to be giving away here momentarily. Now, step number five. Learn your final expense plans. This is where you get to lean on me and the Life Markets team, because we're going to give you the best products that are out there to meet your clients' needs, that are going to be affordable. They're going to take a lot of different health risks, from diabetics to people who were cancer patients in the past to people who are currently dealing with neuropathy and MS and lupus and a whole mess of things. You're going to want to learn your companies. We can only do so much and provide you so much. Some of it, you have to take some of that ownership and just start scanning some of the underwriting guides, understanding and learning their application processes, understanding their nuances to pricing. And I'm going to tell you, tap into all of URL's training resources. We don't have it protected where you have access to it, and have conversations with us here. We don't know what you don't know. So if you have questions, there is no question that is that I would say is dumb. There is they're all good questions because you don't know certain things, and I understand that. We understand that here at URL. Now, step number 6, you have to build a follow-up plan. You have to make a plan to visit your clients after AEP. You can visit them through a video call, a phone call, meet up with them for a cup of coffee. Maybe you work in an office that you can bring some people in and just have a group conversation, have a thank you breakfast, a thank you lunch, client appreciation, whatever you want to do. Have a plan in place. It doesn't have to be over the top. It doesn't have to be expensive. Send out thank you letters with a mention of final expense, or a mention that you can help them with final expense, long-term care, annuities, single premium life. Folks, we have a lot of these letters that all you need to do is copy it, paste it onto your agency letterhead, and send them out to your clients. When you send out the letters, follow up with a phone call. If you're expecting people to read this letter, which hopefully they will, if you're expecting them to pick up the phone and say, I need to call my agent right away, it's not going to happen. You have to be proactive. Make those phone calls. Follow up with phone calls. Now, this is after AEP. Don't do it during AEP. You're going to be running yourself ragged, but have a plan that after January 1, you start sending out these letters thanking the clients for being a Medicare client of yours, and then letting them know that what's near and dear to you is making sure that they have the peace of mind. And then when you're following up the phone calls, schedule a post AEP review or interview and unlock additional opportunities. It doesn't have to be a long meeting, 10, 15 minutes. Keep in mind, a lot of these clients, you've already built that rapport, that relationship with them. You know a little bit about them. So it doesn't have to be very long, but you want to get inside what they're thinking, inside their head, to know what they're thinking so that you can better serve them and address their pain points. Find out their why. Why did they do business with you? And why did they agree to have a meeting with you today? Step number 7 is creating marketing content. Draft email templates and social media posts. Want help with that? We'll be happy to help you with that. Most of you, if not all of you, I would highly encourage you, if you don't already have some type of email marketing program like MailChimp or Constant Contact, you'll know where I'm getting at. Invest in that. It'll make your life a heck of a lot easier. And then you can draft these email templates. And then for social media posts, we have people here at URL on staff that know social media marketing better than anybody. And they can help you with putting together social media posts. Many of the carriers that you work with at URL also have social media posts that you can basically copy it, put it onto your agency social media platforms, and market life insurance, annuities, final expense, long-term care, or just having a plain good old sit down conversation with you. Record some simple short videos explaining the benefits of whatever product or service. In this instance, final expense. And offer a free final expense planning guide as a lead magnet. So you can put that in, mention that on your social media posts. Heck, you can even mention it in your thank you letter about a free final expense planning guide. Now, you're probably going to say, Matt, I don't have a free final expense planning guide to give away. We do here at URL, and with our relationships with a lot of our final expense companies, we have the final expense planning guides that you can give away, that you can put little stickers with your name and information on it, or even have it printed up with your name and contact information on it. So create marketing content. And step number 8, network with local professionals. I talk to Medicare advisors quite a bit, and a lot of the networking that they do are actually financial advisors, people that are helping with retirement planning. They don't do Medicare. So they funnel them into the Medicare office. And then if they are talking to Medicare clients that are looking for help with 401ks or for different investment opportunities, they'll funnel it over to financial advisors. It's all about networking, kind of scratching each other's back. Connect with funeral homes, connect with estate planning, estate planners, attorneys, financial planners, elder care advocates. Network with them, do seminars, webinars with them, become referral partners. You can do a lot of sending out letters, you can do a lot of phone calls, but a lot of time, these networking opportunities, the networking groups are going to become some of your best advertising because you become referral partners. What you do can work with somebody else, and be a funnel for somebody else that you're working with, and vice versa. So, what are some tips to the success? What, if you were to say to me, Matt, what are some of the things that I should be doing now as we lead up to AEP? First, lean on URL for your resources, your tools, your training. That's what we get paid to do. We're here to help you look good. Practice your pitch. So for me, like I mentioned before, I would use my wife. She is going to be my toughest critic, and she's going to be very blunt and very direct in telling me what I did right and what I did wrong in my sales pitches. Practice your pitch with your harshest critic. It's out of love that they do it, and you want that. Be prepared with quotes, be prepared with brochures. Yours truly and the Life Markets team, we can help you with all of that. Make sure that you're following up after AEP. Remember that 48-hour rule. And remember, focus on relationships and not on transactions. A lot of Medicare advisors, because you're running yourself ragged, that you don't feel that you have the time to build a relationship and that it's just a transaction, please, please don't do that. Even if the Medicare meeting where you're getting to do some fact finding, go over the plans, give your professional advice and recommendations, even if that's a transaction, bring it back to being personal and having a relationship with them when the dust settles with it after AEP. Here's the conclusion. In my opinion, this is me as a life insurance guy, a non-Medicare guy, but I'm going to look at it like this. If I were to get involved in Medicare, where you're sitting right now, many of you are sitting right now, I'm going to look at AEP as a gateway to deeper client engagement. People need Medicare. They don't have to buy it from you. The fact that they're doing business with you is a compliment to you and your agency and the services that you provide. It is up to you whether you treat the client as a transaction or a relationship. This is a relationship driven business. If you work it as a transaction, you are not going to have a client for very long because they're going to look for the next best thing if somebody else is offering it. And you're not going to have that client loyalty. You're also not going to have that referral network from your clients, telling their friends and their family about you. Use Medicare as a way to identify and address client needs and concerns. This is your foot in the door. So many people that are outside of the Medicare world, they would love to be sitting in a position where you are sitting right now, which is that you're in their front door. You are sitting at their kitchen table. They're sitting across from you from a table or a desk talking to you. They would love the opportunity to talk to them as well. Also, keep in mind that out of all the things that you do, you are providing peace of mind for your client. That is your job. When they're sitting down with you talking about Medicare, they want to make sure that their prescription drugs are covered, that they can see the doctors and the specialists and go to the hospitals that they want, and that they know that if they were to get sick or to stay healthy, that plan is covered. Understand that before we check out, before we pass away, clients too, that we want to make sure that we have the peace of mind knowing that our children and our grandchildren and our loved ones can worry about and focus on family and not on finances. And that's what final expense does. And keep this in the back of your mind. If you don't, someone else will. I've witnessed it. If you don't offer other products and services, if you don't diversify, someone else will. So now is the time for you to start downloading some of the resources that we have. I mentioned to you before about the client questionnaire. We have that client questionnaire that you can download now, and it's going to ask you with the purpose of the meeting. It's going to have some basic information. This client intake form, this client questionnaire has already gone through compliance. So it is compliant. You can use this on your Medicare appointments when you're sitting down with somebody. This is going to make it easier for you to circle back around after AEP to have that conversation with somebody about final expense or other products and services. It's not just final expense specific. So it's going to download, I encourage you all, download the client questionnaire, download the sample letter. Make any changes to any of this that you want. Customize it and download that sample letter. You can copy it, paste it, make any adjustments. That is the letter or a semblance of that I encourage you to send out to your clients, thanking them for being a valued Medicare client, and then wanting to get together for a brief conversation to discuss final needs planning. So, and follow up with a phone call. Don't just send the letter and expect them to call you. They're not going to do it. They won't. And I also encourage you, connect with us at the Medicare Connections Conference taking place on September 3rd at the Hershey Lodge and Convention Center in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Connect with us. I'm going to be there all day along with our Medicare team and our annuity team, and have conversations with us. Connect with us. Introduce yourself and contact me, contact the Life Markets team. Be happy to help you with that. Now, if any of you are having problems with with downloading that information, I'm going to be providing you with my email address so that you can email it, and then I will just respond back with the just say need downloads in the subject line, and then I will send you the links to that. But download the client questionnaire, download the sample letter, connect with us at the Medicare conference, and connect with the Life Markets team or the Annuity Solutions team. And our job is to make you look good and to put you in a position of success, both financially as well as just with your clients and making you look good. All right. Now I'm going to open in the floor for any questions that you have. That is pretty much the pre AEP game plan. Get cross-selling, get diversification on your radar. So I do have some questions. To stay compliant with CMS, we are unable to discuss life insurance at a Medicare appointment at all. You can hint about it. You can't really do any like fact finding in terms of, you can't talk about plans, but you can say, hey, by the way, and on your literature, your sales literature, you can say, I help with life insurance, annuity, blah, blah, blah. You just can't really take an application until 48 hours later. Now, Derek, I know for you personally, you and your wife are a team. So let's say you're on the Medicare appointment. Your wife doesn't have to abide by that same rule. So she can call later on in the day, or she can, the 48 hours rule does not pertain to that. Daniel, please send me an email, and I'll email you those resources. It is there for download, and hope that helps. And Lindsay, appreciate it. Lindsay, select handouts are above the chat. So yes, appreciate that as well. Thanks for that. So yes, there's the Medicare cross-selling letter. There is the client questionnaire, and a couple other things as well. And here's my email address. If you have any questions, even if it's Medicare related and you're not sure who to contact, or if it's annuity related and you don't know who to contact, or long-term care, email me. I'll be happy to put you in contact with the expert in that field. My email address is Matt A, that's MATTA, at urlinsgroup.com. Matt A at urlinsgroup.com. My direct phone number is 717-216-8041. 717-216-8041. I appreciate it. Again, let me just make sure we don't have any other questions here. And that is it. Thanks, everybody. Make it a great AEP. See some of you at the, looking forward to seeing some of you at the Medicare Connections Conference on September 3rd in Hershey. So looking forward to that. And do not be strangers. If you don't know something, please ask. Don't suffer in silence. Ask. So until next time, thank you, everybody. Make it a great day, and we'll talk to you all very soon. Bye for now.